So folks, behind me is another one of those state capitol buildings, which only means we are in another state capitol. And being that we've spent the last few days in Kentucky, you guessed it, this is the state capitol of the Bluegrass State, Kentucky. That's a shame. These things in front of us mean we can't really go further than this, but it's a good place to start off the video here. If I took you to another part of the town we are in, you would probably not believe that a giant state capitol building is mere miles away or mere blocks away. Yeah, this is quite a small town, so it's weird. You'd think maybe Louisville or Lexington would be the state capital of Kentucky, but no, it's just a small town of little over 20,000 people. And this little town is called Frankfort, Kentucky. Seems to be an event going on, or at least planning to go on. That's why these might be blocked. But let me introduce you to Frankfort. We are still in the Bluegrass region of central Kentucky, just a little away from yesterday's destination of Lexington, but this small town gets to boast that it is the state capital, even though it's not a huge city at all. Yeah, sometimes in life we gotta make detours. So if I can't go on the actual concrete pavement leading up to the building, well, we can go on the lawn. And isn't this just a beautiful sight? Yet another grand old Capitol building. So I'm sure with this construction we can't even go in, that's not even a question. But we can look at it from the outside. What do you guys think of the Kentucky state capitol right here in Frankfort? It looks like the usual Capitol building you'd see with the pillars of stone and the windows. And then of course, as usual, you have the stone dome. With other states, maybe they adorn it with gold or some sort of shiny metal, but it seems like it's just stone up here. There's not much else I can say about this building. It seems to take the usual shape of a state capitol building or a governmental building, or it's just some building of importance to the area. I guess we could just bask in how it's simply amazing that a small town like Frankfort, Kentucky has this building compared to the majority of states in the United States. Frankfort is one of the smallest capital cities, and that goes without question. I mean, you have cities that are, the most populous city of that state, which are also the capital, like Boston, for example, or maybe Oklahoma City or Nashville. And how could I forget Atlanta? What a huge city that is. But as for Kentucky, well, little old Frankfort calls this building home and the seat of government for the state. Excuse me. Yes, sir. I'm curious, I'm from out of town. Is this something that usually goes on? I don't even know It's
a dedication of a Gold Star family monument.
Oh, wow, how interesting. How long has this been going on?
We dedicated it last year. So this is it's Gold Star family. You know what a Gold Star family is?
I believe so.
Yeah, if someone has had someone killed in the military, their family becomes a Gold Star family.
Interesting.
So we're here to honor them, and it's Gold Star month, and we're doing sort of rededication on the monument. So you're welcome to stick around.
So when I got here, when I arrived, I saw a group of people in military or maybe historical uniforms, and I had no idea what was going on. Apparently there is some sort of procession to honor Gold Star families, and how lucky we are to be at the right time at the right place once again.
The ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you to Chad Graham for welcoming us, and to Mike King for one of our esteemed veterans. Thank you for your service. It's a day we recognize these heroes, and we try to lift up their families, the folks who must live with that inconsolable loss of a loved one. However noble and honorable their service, you've got to understand that pain is real, and lasting.
The last living World War II Medal of Honor recipient, Chief Warrant Officer 4, Herschel Woody Williams, United States Marine Corps, retired. Woody.
Enough that I'm telling them where they need to kind of go.
What, may you ask, is the ultimate sacrifice of an American? Most likely, it's to join the military and, unfortunately, untimely, die in battle. And the families of those people in the military who die in battle, they're given this gold star. They're now a gold star family. Mothers, daughters, sons, brothers, sisters, grandparents, everyone in the family. And this whole commemoration that we just witnessed honors the family members of those who died in military service. Because imagine the heartbreak that someone would feel when someone close to them dies and they will never see them again. They carry a tremendous burden and they make a huge sacrifice. In this country, we're lucky enough to have this sense of freedom. Many countries don't have that privilege. Many of the citizens lack the freedoms that we do have in America. These people make the ultimate sacrifice to preserve what we have in this country. And that's why I think it's important to go to these commemorations. When you see someone who is in the military or is a veteran, be sure to thank them for their service because they are risking quite a lot. On more of a cultural note, I just find it so cool how we just arrive here and we find this great thing right here in Frankfort, Kentucky. But at the same time, you're kind of likely to see these types of commemorations and services done throughout the country and hopefully all 50 states. I guess that's just how we are in America. Very patriotic and very thankful for the military that we have. And so we do our best to make those open displays to thank everyone in the military. Okay, we haven't even gotten to the core of Frankfort. We should probably explore that a bit before the video gets too long. Yeah, you can tell I like candy. I gotta get something here. So I hear Kentucky's the best place to get a bourbon ball.
Right.
So I guess we'll take a small of all bourbons.
That's the original bourbon ball.
Yeah.
I've got them in a pound, a half pound, 8, 4, 2. The pound has 32. The half pound has 16.
Okay.
Or I've got a bag of the boo-boos, which are slightly imperfected.
Yeah.
And they're a pound also at a slightly reduced price.
Oh, really? Okay, I could take those.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, take care.
Thank you very much.
Take care. Have a good trip. Yep. When you think of this bluegrass region in the center of Kentucky, heck, maybe even the whole state of Kentucky, you're going to think of two things, horses and bourbon. Now, I'm not going to drink bourbon, but the best next thing is to try a bourbon ball, a candy. Now, if Kentucky had a candy of its own, this would be it. I know they don't look pretty. I got the boo-boos, as they were called, the faulty ones, the ones that didn't come out looking pretty, but hey, I'm gonna do anything to get a cheaper price on candy. Invented in the 1930s, right here in Frankfort by a woman named Ruth. They've taken the world by storm, and people go to Kentucky for the bourbon balls. It's chocolate, and I'm sure by the name they put a little bit of bourbon in it. And for an added touch, they add a pecan onto it. So, let's see what a bourbon ball tastes like. I assure you, the boo-boos, they're just the same as the regular ones that are all pretty and such. Let's give it a try. How do I describe it? It is just heavenly. So there's the cream center once you bite into the chocolate, but then it's not just a regular sweet flavor. It's almost this alcoholic fermented flavor that you would taste if you were just drinking bourbon. It is such a good combination. Chocolate and alcohol. How clever. After 3 weeks on the road, you just get exhausted. You get this fatigue, physical exhaustion just lingering over you every day. So sometimes it's nice to just take a break a little bit once every day, twice maybe, just to sit down. And these bourbon balls do the trick to get you, you know, in the right mindset, I guess. But yeah, that is the bourbon ball. Kentucky, you have amazing candy. So here in the downtown of Frankfort, supposedly there is a lot of antebellum architecture, antebellum being the time before the Civil War, because a lot of stuff in the South was destroyed. So if you can find antebellum architecture, oh, you're in for a treat. And I'm not sure if places like these are what they're talking about. It looks old. Could it be antebellum? And there's the Frankfort clock, everyone. This small city is eerily quiet. Could be because it's Sunday and all the shops and businesses are closed in this religious state, or it could just be because it's not enough people. It is a small city. It's no Lexington. Getting away from the city for a hot minute or two, we're now approaching the Kentucky River. This river starts, wouldn't you guessed it, in the Appalachian Mountains somewhere. Southeast Kentucky flows northwest until it hits the Ohio River, somewhere in southern Indiana, I think. That's where it goes. But the important thing is that it makes a significant stop in Frankfort. And what it does, as I'm told, is it makes an S shape. It curves around and it cuts into the city in such a way that Frankfort is quartered, essentially. It's split up into 4 major areas, depending on what part of the river you are on. Unfortunately for us, what stands between us and a great view of the river? A gate. Apparently you have to own a boat to go over here. I mean, I could jump over and attempt to reach that part, but no. The camera would get wet. I'd probably be submerged down there, to be quite honest with y'all. What do you think about this cable? Should we walk across it like a tightrope? Like we're in the circus? I'm a fan of adventure, but some things are just too risky. And as you know, I prioritize safety here on the coverage project. So this is the best view of the Kentucky River we're gonna see here in Frankfort. Another thing I love about Frankfort is it's one of those small walkable cities. It only really took me less than 5 minutes to get from the center to the river area, which is nice, and nobody's bothering you. People are very friendly in this part of Kentucky. Well, look at that, another clock here in Frankfort. Now feast your eyes on this Greek-inspired building. If you've seen a few of my Capitol videos, you might notice that some of the places are relatively new in terms of Capitol buildings, and there are previous Capitol buildings, and here in Kentucky that is no exception. Welcome to the old State Capitol building here in Frankfort. Of course, a lot smaller, still pretty grand of a building, nothing like a big complex, but something humble, but also shows, hey, we mean business here in Kentucky. In this peaceful downtown, it's fine and all, but I think there's only one true way to end this video, and in a way, to pay tribute to the culture of Kentucky after it's gifted us with such fun and enjoyment. What are we doing in a cemetery? Well, I'll tell you. Over there is the grave of one of America's greatest folk heroes. At the time, when America was first trying to settle past these darn Appalachian Mountains, this big obstacle in the way to their settlement of the West, Daniel Boone paved the way. He entered Kentucky through the Cumberland Gap and settled the first parts of Kentucky for America to see what lay beyond these huge Appalachian Mountains, cementing himself as the great frontiersman everybody knows about and establishing a great legacy that Kentuckians are real proud of. Like every human in human history, he died, he ceased to exist, and his grave is right here, marked with the famous name, Daniel Boone. Up here on this cemetery, in this hill, you get a great picture of Frankfort. And as you can see, the Capitol building juts out like a sore thumb, where everything else is just this small town environment surrounded by the forests of Kentucky. And it just amazes me once again that in this seemingly insignificant part of Kentucky, there lies the state capital with all its glory. And the funny thing is, we packed a ton into this video. We did so much in this small area. And the mentality of a place like Frankfort, Kentucky just proves my whole coverage project mission that you don't need to go to this giant cosmopolitan center to have fun. You don't need to go to a tourist town. You could go to this small town. Sure, it is the state capital, but you can go to this small, relatively obscure area and still have a blast with your day here. The whole aim of the coverage project, we aren't going to all the places everybody else is going. We are going to Frankfort, Kentucky. Who goes to Frankfort, Kentucky on a travel vlog? We sure do. This video is getting way too long. We gotta cut it when we can. So, we had a great time here in Frankfort, Kentucky, and frankly, I think this deserves a second visit. Believe it or not, we have not done everything we can here in Frankfort. So, I think it's safe to say we should end it while we're enjoying it and while we have a jam-packed video full of great adventures today here in Frankfort. Let's put a bow on it. Sitting at this beautiful, peaceful cemetery right next to the grave of Daniel Boone, with a great lookout of all of Frankfort, Kentucky, capital of the Bluegrass state. More travels to come. I will see you at the next location.